Hey guys, welcome back to another session of my Oracle training and thanks for all the support. So, based on some of the ideas that I received, they asked me to prepare an agenda for the session so that it would be easy for them to go through the video, and it even made me to make sure that I cover up everything. So, today's agenda is we are going to see is why do we need to restrict data, and we'll be seeing an introduction to the where clause and using the where clause for strings, numbers and dates, and what are the different types of operators that we will be using with the where clause, the usage of and, or and not in a where clause, and introduction to an order by clause, then introduction to substitution variables, and then we'll be seeing what is define and undefined. Hope this is clear for you. Let me shrink the screen. So let me start my database. And again, for people those who don't know, and I'm running Oracle 11G release 2 version, and I'm using the sample schemas that is provided by Oracle, probably the HR schema. And sorry for the late second session. The reason being, I was too much held with work, so I'm doing it in my free time, so kindly bear with me for the delay in the second session. Probably I try to do the third session as early as possible. So in our last session, we saw an introduction to SQL and how to retrieve data using a select statement. And if you guys remember, I told there are three operations that basically any SQL statement goes through. One is a selection, the second would be a projection, and the third one would be join. And join is where you join one or more table. And so projection is when you choose, I told you it's not mandatory that you need all the columns in your output. You can choose selected columns. So when you choose some of the columns from an entire table, you project the data. But we didn't say what is a selection of data, and this session would be mostly covering with the selection of data. See, first thing, we need to understand why we need to select some data. See, for example, let's assume it's a very huge school, and I'm a class teacher for one of the 12th standard guys, 12th standard classroom. So I wanted to check, and there is a database which contains all the students information. So as a class teacher, I need not require everybody's information. All I need is my students information. So rather than selecting entire data and then scrolling through, or navigating through and finding the information, there should be some mechanism where I can retrieve information about only my class students. So in the same way, in a production level, we won't be requiring the entire table data most of the time. So the method that we use for selecting the required data is called as a selection, and this is achieved with the help of the where clause that is provided by Oracle. So let's see the syntax for this. So first would be the select clause, then you can go with column name, column name 2, then followed by column name n from table name. Then you would use the where clause followed by condition 1, and there can be n number of conditions. We'll be seeing that, and it's a good practice to terminate this SQL statement with the semicolon. Though it's not mandatory in SQL Developer, I'm just reiterating it. It would be a very good practice if you start terminating your SQL statements. So it would be very easy for when there is a bug in your coding, it would be very easy to find where this bug has exactly happened. So this would be the syntax. So let's write our first query. So this is the query that I'm using. Uh, so the first query that I've written is select star from employees where employee ID is equal to 100. See this, we already know that the employees table contain 107 records. Okay, correct. And the thing is, I don't need the entire table information. All I need is I need the information of just this person 100. So how am I going to restrict is I've chosen the employee ID column, and because the employee ID is a very unique number for every individual employee. I thought I'm using this employee ID to retrieve one single row of data. So how are we going to do this is I've written a query, as I said, select star from employees where employee ID is equal to 100. So what I'm telling Oracle is please go to the table employees, try to find the column employee ID and find the record which is 100, and please show all the columns from the table. So let's execute this. So the shortcut would be F9 in SQL Developer. So here you can see that uh, the employee ID is 100 and the corresponding record is retrieved, and all the other records are omitted. So this would be usually for a number. See, for numbers we just give number, the you type the number. There is no for string literals you need to give it in single quotes, and date literals it also should be given in single quote, double single quotes. But there's a difference. I told you in the last session that uh, string literals are case sensitive and date literals are format sensitive. If I've not told you, let me make it again clear. Now let's go and see how to handle a query with the string. Select star from employees where last underscore name is equal to, so let's execute it. So here what I've done is I've written a query saying select star from employees where the last name is equal to single quotes, then I've typed the name, closed the string with another single quotes, then I've terminated the SQL query with the semicolon. Now if you see here, the last name, I've exactly given the name as it is in my database, or to be precise, in the table. So here all it's starting with the capital W and then the last name, and it's followed by all small case, and in the table also it's starting with the capital letter and then followed by the lowercase. In case if I give a lowercase w and I'm going to execute this query, you're not going to get any output. The reason behind this w is not the same way it is stored in the database, or to be precise, again the table. The string literals are case sensitive, so you have to give the exact way how it is represented in the table. Now you might ask me a question, okay, I don't know the in what format the string is stored in the database. For this scenario we'll see in our next session how to manipulate strings and other things. As of now, please understand that string literals are case sensitive. So let's see how to handle date literals where Oops, sorry. Mm, probably. Okay. Now let's try. Okay, this is far better so that I can see the entire data. So what I have done here is I'm saying select star from employees where the hire date is greater than 1st January 08. So what I'm telling Oracle is try to find all the date that is greater than 1st January 08. See, the reason I've given in this format is by default my database is configured in such a way that this takes a format of DD, that is date, MON stands for the month, and RR. See, I'm not saying it as YY, and I'm saying it very clearly. It is RR. It is an algorithm that was, written by Oracle to overcome the year Y2K problem. And this, whenever you give a value, Oracle uses this algorithm to understand whether this particular date falls in the current century or the previous century. I'll be explaining this RR algorithm with examples in our next session in detail. So as of now, you understand that the format is DD hyphen MON hyphen RR. Okay, so again, I'm telling you string literals are case sensitive and date literals are format sensitive. So be very precise with that. And if you give some like the if you make it wrong, it will not going to be working. So make sure whatever you give, it's in the correct format. Now you can ask what are the other operators that you can use. You can use equal to, greater than, then you can use greater than equal to, then you can use less than equal to, and let's see what are the other things that we are missing. And okay, now I missed, that's, it's a very good point that I'm really using the agenda. Now for not equal to, you can use it in two methods. Either you can give this way or you can use it this way. Got it? So you can use either this method or you can use this method. Both are correct and both stands for not equal to. So hope I'm very clear. Like, let's see a few examples. uh, Now let's see how does Oracle work if we give it as a greater than equal to valent. Now here also it works. The reason behind because it's the alphabet Z is greater than the alphabet W. So in case you give greater than equal to any names, after this alphabet, after the combination of WH, anything, like let's take an example. William, if somebody was there named William, probably he would have also been shown because it is greater than WH combination. So understand it can work on date literals, string literals, and as well as numbers. So let's see the other few important operators is the between operator, the in operator, like operator, and is null operator. Okay. So the next operator would be a between operator. So let's write our first query laying select star from employees where salary between, I'll say it as 7,000 and 10,000. So what I'm trying to tell Oracle is please find all the employees where the salary belongs to between the value 7,000 and the value 1,000, and here it will include the value 7,000 also and the value 10,000 also in the query. So it is like saying salary equal to 7,000 greater than or equal to 7,000 and salary less than or equal to 10,000. We'll see how to give multiple conditions or to achieve another way to achieve the same result. So let's execute this query and see. So here if you see, it has taken all the salaries ranging between 7,000 and 10,000, and it has not shown any salary above the value 10,000. The maximum value it's taken is the range starting from 7,000 and 10,000. So let's see about the next condition, that would be select star from employees, where what if I wanted to give multiple options or multiple inputs, like say instead of employee ID only 100, I wanted to give the value 100, 101, 102, and few more concepts. So what I'm doing here is I'm just giving select star from employees, where employee underscore ID in 100, 101, 102, 103. So here if you see, there is four inputs given. One is the value 100, the other value is 101, and the third value is 102 and 103. So how Oracle handles this particular query is, it's very similar to a query where it says select star from employees, where employee ID is equal to 100, or employee ID is equal to 101, or employee ID is equal to 102, or employee ID is equal to 103. So it is literally rewriting a query like equal to 101. Let's execute this query. So it's rewriting this particular query into a very similar way and trying to give us all the output. And in is like it's an equal to operator. It will find values where the employee ID is exactly matching for 100. You can't write a query and say like let me show you an example. You can't write something like this and execute. It will not work. In is it's a equal to operator, and it will find exact values that is given within the in, and this can be applicable for characters also, where you can give so here it is trying to find all the last name with the value king and with the value Velen, and it can be applicable for dates also, but make sure you keep it in mind that the in operator will work like an equal to operator. So as per the agenda, the next operator that will be we would be seeing is the like operator. So I'm writing a query select star from employees, where imagine a situation where you know how the name sounds like. Say for example, uh, Stephen and Stephen can be very sounding very similar. Okay, where it's the and if people who are familiar, they would know the spelling also. It's almost the first few characters are almost the same. When you are not sure what their exact name is spelled as, but you know how it sounds, or you know the first three characters, then you can go for the like operator. So it will retrieve any record which is like the condition that you have given. So it basically takes two things. One is the percentage symbol, and the other one would be the underscore symbol. And percentage stands for n number of characters, and the underscore symbol stands for single occurrence of a character. Now let's see an example. what I'm trying to say, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a query select star from employees where, sorry guys, last underscore name, like, or let's take first underscore name, like Steve. So what I'm telling Oracle is the first name should be starting with the alphabet capital S and then followed by lowercase t and then followed by lowercase e. Then I'm going to give percentage symbol to denote that it can be followed by any number of characters. It can be one, that is, it can start from 4 characters and go up to n number of characters. Now let's execute this query. And this is the reason I've always, you remember I told you, make sure that you terminate the query with the semicolon. Now let's execute this. So here, if you see, we are getting 3 records as an output. One is it's the names that is starting with STE, and here it is showed. It has shown the names Stephen and Stephen. So here Stephen is containing totally 6 characters, but Stephen is containing 7 characters. So this percentage symbol will denote any number of characters. In case, let's I said the underscore is for single representation of character. Let's go with, I'm giving 3 underscores and execute this query and see what happens. Now you can see that Stephen has not appeared. It's because what we have said is it should start with an uppercase S, then followed by lowercase t, then followed by lowercase e, and it can take 3 characters after the alphabet S, T and E. So Stephen does not fall into this category because it's 7 characters. In case if I add another underscore, probably it would work. But now what happened is you don't see Stephen in your output. The reason is when you give an underscore, it has to be having 7 characters. You got the point? If you give underscore, it has to have exactly the number of underscores that you have represented in your query. So Stephen will not occur. So to overcome this, you can either give a percentage symbol at any point. Now there might be a scenario where you're really trying to find an underscore in your query. Say for example, this job ID has a value called st underscore clerk. Now I would be really searching for this underscore, but I already told you that underscore is used for representing one single character. In these kind of scenario, Oracle has provided a method called as an escape character. So how do you work with an escape character is, in case if you are searching for a underscore or a percentage symbol, in reality all you need to do is you can give a backward slash and then say escape, and that backward slash should be given. It's not only a backward slash, you can give any other symbols you want, and you have to mention the same thing. So any single character that is present that represents after this particular symbol will be searched in your query. Like let's take this query job underscore id, and so you can see the query is working. In case if I don't give this, the query will not work because it will be searching for a string with the alphabets uppercase S, uppercase T, then it should contain the string, value backward slash. So I told you, as string literals are case sensitive, make sure that in case if you are searching for the underscore, make sure that you have to give escape followed by the whatever symbol you have given. Hope I'm very clear to you. And the next operator that we would be seeing is the is null operator. And in my last session I told you very clearly that in Oracle, null has got no value. It can neither be a zero or it can be compared to any garbage value also. It is, and two null cannot be equal also. Now let's say, let's see this employees table, and you can see that there is lots of commission percentage that has null value, and there are few people who have commission percentage. There is some random value. Now I wanted to find all the employees who has only null in their commission percentage. So if I write a query, select star from employees where commission percentage equal to null. Now let's execute this query, and you can see that there is no output shown for this particular query. The reason is the value that the null that is retrieved from the table cannot be equal to the null that you have given. Then what is the other method? For that you have, as I've told you, this operator will help you to find all the column that is holding a null value. So what I'm writing is, I'm saying select star from employees where commission percentage is null. Now let's execute, and you can see it has retrieved all the records only with the commission percentage having a null value, and all the other values are excluded. So when you're trying to find a null from a record, you have to use is null. Many people, it's a very common mistake that we always try to give equal to null. So, and if you don't get an output, please make sure your query is exactly written as is null and not as equal to null. Hope I'm clear. And one more thing guys, in case if you have any doubts regarding this, whatever I've explained so far, please do post your questions in the YouTube video, or you can post it in FB where where I would be sharing this video, or else you can ping me in FB, and if I'm online and available and if I have time to explain your doubts, for sure I will do it. And let's proceed. So the next thing that we would be seeing is the usage of and, or, and, not in where clause. See, you use these three things when you have more than three conditions, or more than one condition for your records to be filtered. It's not it's not required that you should give only one condition to restrict your data. There can be many conditions that can be done. So let's proceed with this. Let me so let's write select star from employees where I want to find all the employees, let's say who has job ID of a financial accountant, and I also wanted to get only those who have more than 8,000 rupees salary. Now if you see, there are totally 5 financial accountants and only 2 are having the salary more than 8,000. So let's see how to write this query. Select star from employees where job underscore ID like FI, or let's give it as job ID equal to FI underscore account and salary greater than 8,000, and let's execute this. So you see that you see the two records. So now how and or works. If you have learnt your basic you know uh, one second guys. Okay, you would have learnt about your AND gates, OR gates, and XOR gates. The this In Oracle also it literally works the same way. So when you give an AND, both the condition has to satisfy. If any one condition fails, the records will be excluded. Now let's apply the same thing. See here, this person, if you take these 5 records, these 3 people do have one of the condition that satisfies. That is, we have given FI underscore account, and these people do have their job ID as FI account. But these 3 records do not satisfy our second condition, which is salary greater than 8,000. So if you give and, both the condition has to satisfy. In case if it is or, now you see so many records, it's because the job ID is FI account, and for all these people the salary is greater than 8,000. So if any one condition satisfies, the records will get populated. And you can write, as I said, multiple conditions, or manager underscore, no, let's take something else, commission underscore ECT greater than point. So it is taking 3 conditions. Either they can have salary more than 8,000, or they can have commission percentage greater than 4, or they can have their job ID as financial accountant. Now let's remove one of this and give it as and, so it will be again able to clear your doubts. So nobody has got salary. Probably nobody is having this value. Let's delete and see. Okay, so here if you see, there is everybody is having a salary greater than 4,000, and everybody is having a commission percentage value greater than 3. Now what would happen if I say or job underscore ID or equal to 80? Now what would be the output for this? Or let's write it like this. And so it's trying to find all the employees who's getting greater than 4,000 salary, can see this. So all these people have 4,000 salary, but for logical reason, let me change this to delete one. Let me get back, guys, 1 second. Okay, the reason I paused this, I wanted to show you the exact order of the precedence that Oracle takes. So if you check here, first all these operators are given priority, then goes your is not null, like, not, between, not in, exist, is of type, and then it's not operator, and then your odd your and operator, and the or operator. See, we'll see more about exists and is of type later. I don't want to, confuse you with the exist and is of type. So for sure, I'll be covering this in the later sessions. So as of now, just make sure this is the order. So this would be your number one, and this is the second thing that's processed, then third, then fourth, then fifth. Okay, so if you see here, so it is taking the and as first, and then your salary is taken. So this is the condition that is applied. In case if you give and over here and or over here, still this would be, executed first, because we are giving a precedence stating that this commission percentage and department ID should be matched first. So now if you see, there is few people from department ID is chosen, and there is one person, the 178. But when I don't give this, there is totally 35 records now. When I execute this, or and okay, now it's 64. I'm giving precedence to this by saying, now you can see there is only 34 records. So what I'm trying to tell is, we are giving priority to this first OR operator here, and then we are performing the AND operation. If you don't give this parenthesis, first commission percentage and department ID would be clubbed up together because of the precedence rule. So in case you wanted to club up few things and then do the filtering, you can give brackets to prioritize your queries. And you can give not in, sorry, the not operator, where I can write, say, select star from employees where job ID not in SA underscore rep and MK underscore map. So what we are trying to do here is, we are trying to find all the job ID that does not belong to sales rep or a marketing manager. So you can see that there is not a single sales rep nor a single marketing manager. In case if I give an if I remove this not, It will return all the employees who has the job ID of a sales rep and marketing manager. Hope I'm clear. So the next thing that we would be seeing in the agenda is the order by clause. And again, I'm trying to say, if you have any doubts with this where clause, please do post your questions. I'll be very glad to clear your doubts. And if possible, I'll try to share all the queries that I've been using along with the video, but I can't give you a guarantee, but I can try it. So let's continue with our next. So we'll see how to write the syntax for the order by clause. The syntax would be order by call name 1, call name 2, followed by call name. So first let's see what is this order by clause. See, we receive data from Oracle in an ordered manner. So how does it order is, by default it orders based on the first column that is displayed, and it is arranged in ascending order. So you can start see that by default it's taken the employee ID column, and based on that it has arranged the record, and it is ascending order. So by default records are arranged in in ascending order, but sometimes my report might not need the data in ascending order. It might be requiring in a descending order. In these kind of scenarios, I can go and specify order by clause, and I can tell in what name I want, in what by what column I need Oracle to sort. So what I'm doing is I'm literally overriding, and I'm say for example if I write a query select star from employees order by, let's say, hire date. So we are literally telling Oracle that please don't sort it using the employee ID. Please sort it based by the hire date. And you can see that the hire date is in an ascending format, and it is not sorted based on the employee ID. You can add multiple columns. So again, we have it sorted based on the hire date column and the commission percentage. So you can add n number of columns to this. In case if you want it in descending order, then you have to explicitly say it as DESC. So here what happens is the commission percentage will be sorted based by descending, and the hire date will be sorted in ascending format. Now there can be a question, a doubt arising. In my last session, if you remember, I showed to describe the structure of a table, you can give a command called DESC followed by the table name. So this will describe how the table looks. And here also I'm just using the same thing called as DESC. See, Oracle knows pretty well that if you use DESC after an order by clause, it is descending, and if you give a DESC and followed by a value, it is going to be describing a table. So you need not worry about it. Now let's see few more examples in order by clause. See, in my last session we saw something called as an alias name, which is an alternate name given to a column, and I also told it's a very good practice to to hide your business logics for others to see. And I told you cannot use the alias name at any point, but in an order by clause you can use an alias name. Now let's see how can that be done. Let's say I use commission underscore PCT and I've given it as CM underscore PCT. So I'm giving an alternate name. And I told it's by default ascending, but I'm asking it to sort it based on descending. So you can see that the commission percentage value is sorted based on the alias name and not on the column name. So in order by clause you can give an alias name, so please make sure that you can use. But I cannot give something like this where CM underscore PCT is equal to 0.3. It will throw me an error saying that CM underscore PCT cannot be used in the where clause. It will throw an invalid identifier error, but literally what I'm trying to say is you cannot use this alias name in where clause, but you can use it in the order by clause. Hope you understood how to use order by clause. So the next thing in the agenda that we would be seeing is substitution variables. So now I have executed a query saying select star from employees where employee ID is equal to 150. See, every time, in case, imagine a situation where my manager comes and says please write a query to find the employee. See, though this is a very stupid scenario, but I'm just trying to make you understand why I'm telling you this. Here I'm saying where employee ID is equal to 150, and tomorrow my manager comes and says please change it, I don't want for employee ID 150, change it for 190. See, but in production level we don't see very simple queries like this. It would be very complicated where there'll be multiple tables joined, and there I cannot keep going and changing values like this. Okay, so what if I had an opportunity where Oracle asks me for a value at runtime? For this there are two methods. One is you can go for substitution variables, and the other method would be bind variables. But in production level most of our queries will be used through bind variables, which we'll discuss in our later sessions. So as this particular session we are going to cover only about substitution variables, let's stick with it. So how to use substitution variables? See, substitution variables can be used with a single ampersand or with double ampersand. Now let's see the difference between both. So to use a substitution variable, all you have to do is go remove the value and give a single ampersand, then you can give a proper name. I'm saying emp underscore id. When I execute this query, Oracle will ask me for a value. Let me give 142. I execute. So I get the record. In case if I execute it again, it would ask me for a value. I can change my value. So here I've given it as 190. So each and every time I can use this query to make Oracle ask me for a value to execute. Now where I can use, the next question can be asked, is it only I can use this emp substitution variable only in where clause? Nope, it can be used for anything, like something like this. I can write call 1 comma ampersand call 2 comma ampersand call 3. When I execute, it's going to ask me for the first column. I'm giving the second column, and third column, let's say job underscore ID. Then it would ask me for the employee ID. So here I'll choose 101 and execute. So you can see it has taken only the employee ID, department ID and job ID. Is it only I can give here? There are few places where you can use it more advanced, like you can even write something like this and you can execute. I can say employee underscore ID last underscore name first underscore name department underscore ID is equal to 90. I can even do something like this, or I can do something like this too. Okay, I know, sorry. So I can do something like this, or even I can even do something like this. So you can use it anywhere you want, but make sure you use it in a proper way. So whenever I give single ampersand, it's going to ask me for a value, and I can give any string value, any value into it, and it will be literally substituted instead of that particular variable. Now let's see this query. Now let's execute this. The concept of this query is I wanted to find few people from some department, and I wanted to know what is the name of the department. So let's execute. I say 90. So it has retrieved all the employees who belong to the department 90, and here I'm seeing all the department I'm executing, and so it has retrieved information about this particular department from the departments table. Imagine I could have hundreds of query like this, where I'm getting this same value called department ID, and I'm going to use the same value. Say for example, if I use 90 in this query, in all my 90 queries or 100 queries, I'm going to use 90 as my value. It would be so it would take so much of time to keep on giving 90 90 90 for every value. What if it Oracle asks me once and substitutes the value in my subsequent queries? For that, you all you have to do is use a double ampersand. When you use double ampersand, Oracle will request a value from you for the first time, and for subsequent usage the values will be automatically substituted. That's the main reason it's got the name called substitution variables. And you can ask me, now let's execute and then I'll explain you. So it asks me for a value, I give 90 and it executes. Now when I go over here and execute this query, it automatically picks the record for department 90. If I go over here and now if I'm going to execute, will Oracle ask me for a value? Nope. The reason is, once Oracle gets substitution variable value after you have provided two double ampersand, the value for that particular variable is stored in the memory till the end of session. That is, till you log out from the deep database, this value will be stored permanently. Hope it's clear. Then now you can ask me, okay, is it now if I need to change this value, do I have to log off and log in back to reapply this value? Nope. For that main reason we have something called as define and undefined. Now all I have to, in case if I want my query to ask me again, all I need to do is I can say undefined dpt underscore id. I've executed it. Now you can see that Oracle is asking me for value. Now let me give another value where I say department ID 100, and here I execute this query. It gives me the department ID. When I again execute, it still asks me, it's because the value is still stored. To remove this value, I have to say undefined followed by the variable name. So I've executed. Now when I execute, it will ask me again for a value. There is nobody in department ID 120, but there will be a department called department 120 there. In the same way, you can do it in another method. You can say define dpt underscore id is equal to 110, and when I execute, it fetches the information for department ID 110, and here we have for department. In case if I change this value over here and I execute, automatically the value will be, oops, the reason is I haven't undefined it. Now you see that if I make it again 110, I have to execute, the value changes to 110. So that's it for this session. Hope it was hope I had an first thing I need to say is thanks for the opportunity and for the awesome support that you have been giving. And our next session would be a bit longer session, and it would be, we'll be seeing about functions and how we can use functions in our where clause, and how to use the different types of functions that Oracle provides. And that's it. Thanks guys, have fun, and please do like the video, or if you don't like the video also, you are welcome to do that. And if you have any suggestions, I'm very open to criticism, but please keep it positive. And if you have any suggestions like how you want the sessions to be better also, you can give me suggestions. I'll be trying to implement the same thing in my next video also. And peace, have fun, take care, bye.